So Gary, you mentioned that this was a government SBIR-funded project. Could you tell me a little bit about the scope of this investment?
Yes. Our little company, Civilized Software, received about $10 million in SBIR funding over 12 plus years, and we used that money to perform the grants that we were funded for, which involved basically putting a lot of different functionality into the MLAB program beyond even what it had in its original incarnations. So we've added a number of statistical functions, specialized statistical functions. We can do power and sample size calculations of various kinds. We've added some specialized statistics for clinical trial analysis, including things like the Mantel-Haenszel test. And we also have some rather interesting, although not often used, cluster analysis functions, which are somewhat interesting, including the calculation of Voronoi diagrams. The MLAB is a very broad and deep product. It has many interesting functionalities beyond fitting differential equation models to data, although fitting differential equation models to data is probably the most popular thing people do with the MLAB software.
So with the scope and the breadth of this product being so large, as you said, how do you get started using MLAB?
Well, like every mathematical modeling tool, like every mathematical tool, you really have to know some mathematics. Although you can do without much, you have to know a little bit, because the basic idea of any mathematical model is to define a set of functions, or a set of differential equations that define a set of functions that describe the particular phenomena you're trying to model. The way to get started in any of this, given the basic background in physics and calculus that you probably need, is to look at examples of MLAB, of which there are many at our website and also in the MLAB program itself. The first thing that happens when you run the MLAB program is it says, do you want to look at a list of examples? Those examples are not there for production purposes, they are there for learning purposes. Also, of course, there are a full set of publications at various levels that introduce you to aspects of the MLAB program.
So Gary, it sounds like MLAB is a very sophisticated product that's used in a lot of really high-end scientific research by PhD researchers or government research. Is that a limitation on MLAB?
No, definitely not. It's true that MLAB is used by scientific researchers and helps them get publications done that report on the modeling that they've done, but MLAB is a math tool and a statistics tool. It can be used by anyone who wants to either do mathematical modeling or study mathematics and mathematical modeling. For example, MLAB can be used in university courses. It can be used in a course on differential equation solving. It can be used even in high schools by calculus students. Its breadth is such that MLAB can be used by people at many levels with many motivations. The common denominator is that you need to speak the language of mathematics to some degree. MLAB is not a tool where you make a choice from a menu and select a black box to be executed on your behalf. MLAB is a tool where you express mathematically whatever you want to study or learn about or explore, and then MLAB is used to evaluate functions, draw graphs, do data analysis of various kinds, all with considerable intent and knowledge of the user. So if you're looking for a program to push a button and get an answer, MLAB is probably not that program unless someone has used MLAB to build that push-button functionality for you in the form of a particular MLAB script, which can certainly be done. But if you're interested in exploring modeling on your own, for whatever purpose and for whatever level, you can do that perfectly well with MLAB.